Well, hello everybody. This is going to be a real quick video to show you how to use the new Honorlock system when taking tests in the criminal justice online classes. This may be different in some of your other classes and will more than likely be different. You got to take things in consideration. I'm giving open book time barred test where you can use your own notes in your textbook, but you have a time limit that bars you from spending too much time looking up the answers. So the way it's set up is going to be slightly different than it will in other courses. So let's go ahead and get started talking about the testing environment and the testing area and what you need to test. Number one, you're going to need to have a computer, laptop, or tablet. It will not work on a cell phone. It will work on a Chromebook, but it will not work on a cell phone that has the Google Chrome browser installed, and you're going to need to use Google Chrome browser. If you try to use any other browser, say Safari or Edge or Firefox, you'll get an error message that will tell you that you need to load Google Chrome, and you need to use the Google Chrome extension. Extension loads up rather quickly. You can delete it out after every exam if you want and reload it. It just takes maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute to load it. So it's not a big time producer. The testing room you need is going to be a room where you can be by yourself, that has plenty of light. We're going to be recording your face in your video. It needs enough light to record. It also needs to be a room that has not a lot of noise going on. Don't have your music playing, your television playing in the background. Try to keep everybody else out of the room. We don't want you talking to anybody else during the exam. I understand that some of you got small children and occasionally they'll come in the room. I will be alerted to the fact that there's more than one person in the room, but I will understand if you've got a 4 or 5-year-old kid walking in the room. What I won't be so understanding of if it's another student from the class or somebody else walks in the room and you'll have a conversation. That's something that's not allowed during the exam. You also cannot have any additional cell phones, tablets, secondary computers in the testing room, and we're going to do a room scan to show that the material is not in the room. So make sure you leave your cell phone somewhere else. If it rings during the test and you answer it, then that's you're not following the rules. You can be subject to failing the test. So don't do it. Put everything in another room. No temptations that way. And you can't walk out of the room. Don't leave the room. The tests are generally going to take you 30 minutes or less. You've got a 50-minute time limit. The final exam you do have 80 minutes. But I don't know a job in the world that lets you take a bathroom break every 15 or 20 minutes. You can make it that far without suffering. So just kind of figure that you're going to have to stay in the room for the duration of the test. And you can't take your computer in another room with you. I'm going to just go in the other room and bring the computer. No, you have to stay in the room that you've scanned. So stay in that same room. You can't use headsets, earphones, or other similar audio devices. And again, no phone in the room. If you're having difficulties and the chat people, and you go through the online chat to talk to the people at Honorlock, they tell you to call them on the phone, that would be an exception. Remember, your face has to remain in view at all times. Now to the thing that's different in mine than, or in an open book environment that you won't have in most classes, is that you can use a digital copy of your notes and your textbook. If you are using digital copies of these two items, open them before the exam. In this case, I've got the exam review here. This exam review is obviously not filled in. What you want to do with your exam reviews, there are 3 chapters covered in this exam, 4 chapters covered in the exam. Take all the chapter reviews and combine them into one single file. That way, you've only got one document open. Makes it a lot quicker for you to search, a lot less things for you to do. Also, if you're going to have your textbook, whether you have to log into it or whether you've got it on your computer, get it up and going. Remember, the test is timed. You don't want to spend time trying to open the textbook and all. You have it up and running, and you'll be good to go. So have both those items. If you're using a hard copy of the textbook and your notes, they will be on your desktop during the desktop scan, and I will see them. They should be your personal notes and not things from like Quizlets or other sources. That is not your personal notes. Wherever you get your notes, they should be either handwritten by you or typed by you or put in the computer by you, and they're not to be somebody else's. When you've opened up your personal notes and textbooks, if you're using digital versions, close every other program on there. During the testing, Honorlock alerts me or the instructor anytime you are looking at a screen other than the exam. So if you're looking at your textbook, I'm going to get an alert. I will look at it and say, oh, it's textbook. That's cool. If you're looking at your notes, I'm going to see the screen and see, oh, that's the notes. That's okay. So you just got to make sure that you don't go to unauthorized screens. Again, you won't be following the test instructions, and you'll be subject to failing the test for not following instructions. Okay, well, that kind of talks about what you have to do. Let's get back to and kind of just show you the system. Excuse me. You will simply navigate in Blackboard to the exam like you would have if you're in a face-to-face class, or if you were doing the old proctoring software. You'd eventually get in Blackboard and navigate to the exam. I'm going to use an introductory quiz as my example here. All you do is you click on it and open it, and what it's going to do, it's going to go into the computer, and Honorlock's going to check and make sure everything's there. Well, it's not, because I don't have the extension downloaded. You should read the term of service and privacy policy. I know you probably won't, but when you don't read it, just click OK, and then hit Get Started. It will then prompt you to add the extension to Chrome. There'll be one more warning to add the extension to Chrome, and then it's going to download it, and that's it. I told you it didn't take long. Close out that little warning window. Now, if we hit the Begin button, it's going to launch into the the pre-test material. What you need ready for this is you're going to have to do a screen a room scan. You're going to need your student ID or your driver's license if you don't have a student ID. Have that ready, and it'll make things go a lot quicker. So now we've hit Begin. If you have any questions, even during the exam, you'll have this little, I guess kind of a circle with the dialog box in it. If you click on that, it will bring up the proctoring services, Honorlock's tech support people, and they'll be able to help you and answer your questions. We've got another guide and accessibility, another link to the chat right up here at the top. Again, there will be instructions in this area on the exam. They're the instructions I've already gone over. If anything's changed, you should look here, kind of glance through it, make sure that things haven't changed. They will be in there. I'm going to try to keep them as short as I can because I realize if they were 2 pages long, no one would read them. So let's go ahead and launch the proctoring. It's going to open up another window. And the first thing it's going to do is going to tell me I've got 2 monitors. I've got a second monitor screen on here. Most of you won't, but if you do, all you have to do is reach over and turn the monitor off. The screen's going to go blank for just a second, and then it will come up, and it realizes the second monitor's off. I can also unplug it and get the same results. Now it's going to want me to take a picture. And again, this is part of the reasons that the lighting is important. Your head doesn't exactly have to be in the center of this. It will find your image even if it's a little bit off the side. Simply take the picture, and it says OK. Now you have your ID. Now, one thing I found with my ID is if the glare's on it, it didn't always accept it. Let me try it and see if I can get it not to accept it. You just kind of have to move it around till you get it right. It lets you retake it. So let me put this up here. And of course, it verified it, but if it doesn't, then you just kind of move it around till you get the glare off of it. Now we're going to do the room scan, and I'm going to unplug my my laptop so I can move it around. I would suggest that when you do this, that you stand up. It's a whole lot easier. I tried to do it sitting down, and it didn't work out. So you click begin room scan. I'm going to slide on out. It gives you a couple seconds to get ready. I'm going to simply hold the computer down, and you'll see that my room, kind of get out of the way. You want to go all the way around. My room is my RV. Again, I've got a place where it's private, where I didn't have to worry about other people wandering in and out. That has become my office during the COVID-19 crisis. You're also going to need to include a look at your desktop to show that the only thing on there is your personal notes and the textbook, or nothing, or your ID is in my case. Once you're done, you click I'm done. It will then replay it for you to kind of show what's there. And you can just kind of look around. Once you decide that it is good, you just simply yes, submit, or you can hit no, redo. Kind of look and see how the desktop came out, because I'm not real sure. You know, you may end up doing it more than once, where you'll have a problem if you've got an all-in-one computer. You know, I kind of did my desk, the couch instead of the desktop, but that's, I'm not going to redo it. But you should redo it if that was the case. Where you have a bigger problem is if you've got an all-in-one computer and you've got wires that are connected, you're going to have to make sure you can move them around. Once you're ready to submit it, then you're going to OK the capturing of your screen, go launch screen recording. You will then click on the box there. It's, just doesn't come already clicked, but it does. So you click on that, then click share, and it will bring up the next screen. And then we're going to click begin exam, and it should come into the exam. It's initializing it, and then you begin taking the exam. Answer the questions the way you normally would. Go to the end. Now, one thing that could occur during the exam, there's a thing that down here at the bottom that may be in your way. It says stop sharing. If you click stop sharing screen, it won't let you take the test anymore. So what you'll have to do is you would click back on here to bring up this box again, and you'll relaunch your screen. So now once that's relaunched, again by clicking on it, hitting share, now I can go back to the exam. I'm going to click continue to allow. Okay, so it's initializing. Give it a second. Okay, so now we're back to taking the exam, and we're completed, submitted it. You're pretty much done. It's going to automatically close the program for you. It may take a second or so. You can look at your score, which should be about 0. And you're done. If you do not want this browser or this extension on your computer, all you have to do is click on it and then click remove from Chrome. You can remove it from Chrome and add it next time you take an exam. If it's not bothering you, it's not in your way on the screen, just leave it. Then you'll save yourself 30-60 seconds of installing it each time. If you have any questions on this, please contact me, send me an email, call me in the office, and I will be glad to answer any more of your questions.